Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Tuesday 10 here at Studioloo. For those of you who are new, Tuesday 10 is me taking 10 items out of this bin of things that I hoard for junk journaling in a basket at the back of my desk here, and we have to keep on crafting until we use them all up. So today I have a book page from a little art book with this beautiful Tom Thompson Twisted Maple 1914 painting. I love this. I think it'll be a nice background. I have this random scrap of plastic. I have a magazine cover from an old Martha Stewart magazine, and I just really liked this on the Lancome ad. And then I have this from an art magazine. It is a beautiful piece of art from Angela Grossman called Alpha Girls from 2004. And I just thought it was really lovely, so I wanted to make something with it. I have this random scrap of what I believe is an Amity Bloom digital. This is a magazine page that I think I must have kept because I liked this little floral image. Another art magazine where I've kept this probably for a background. Then I have this. This is a children's book page. I think it was called The King of the Birds. So it's like a double, it's a whole signature of children's book page. And then we have another from a different bird book called Wedding Birds. And I have some pages of that need to get used up. And then I have one last book page, which is from like a children's fairy tale kind of storybook. And it has these lovely ladies and these bears. So let's get into this. I am actually filming like on Tuesday, which is totally not like me. I normally have this all filmed ahead of time, but it's been a really, really busy week. Work specifically has been just unstoppable. And also my daughter has started going to Beavers with the Scouts. She just had her first scout meeting last night, her beaver meeting. She's the only girl, I think. I don't know, but it's kind of fun, and she fit right in, and the leader was awesome. He was really cool. We had sort of a one-day strike action for our education workers yesterday, so the schools at which most of these kind of groups meet were they were closed because of the lack of support workers there. So they ended up meeting at the leader's house for a campfire and stargazing, and Jupiter was out last night. We actually had an eclipse last night as well, a lunar eclipse, and they didn't see that because it happened like at 3 in the morning or so, but my husband was up and he took some pictures. I was up, I should have got out of bed, but I completely forgot about it, but he got some pictures and it was really lovely. But anyways, they had a great time. They jumped on the trampoline at night in the backyard, and they talked all about like stars, and they used the sky, what's it called? There's an app, I think it's Sky Map, to look for constellations and to help guide them in seeing what constellations are which. And then I learned a little bit last night about how you can independently work at home on different badges. So I think we'll get started on that because they gave me a really nice template for working on badges. And so, yeah, I'm going to get her started and add that into kind of her homeschool learning objectives. And like, it's actually pretty great because like this whole like program fits very well into my homeschool objectives, and I'm just like, this is one more thing that's just going to help me succeed in, keeping each week interesting and doing things. Like I have a couple other curriculums that I do use for the same reason, but like this I think is just going to be an extra fun one. Okay, so what are we doing? All right, so I've made sort of a journal card with that already, and I want to see, is there anything else that I just want to get glued down? Maybe this, but I'm going to cut it into a free form shape afterward. Yeah, so the leader, he seems really great. He has a lovely home, and he was nice that he hosted us there last night. And I ended up getting to, like, the parents don't typically stay, but he said, you know, last night, where it was her first night there, you know, she might feel more comfortable if I stayed, and I was certainly happy to stay anyways, because I'm, you know, this is all new to us, and I like to get an idea. I would have asked to stay anyways, just because it's all new people, and... But my daughter, like, everybody was commenting to me about, like, how well adjusted she was, and that felt kind of like a big win for me, because, like, as soon as she, like, she's just a very outgoing person, way more than me, and I think she gets that from her dad, and as soon as we got there, she just, you know, ran to the back where they were at, and they were getting situated, and she just, like, walked up to the other new person who started last night, another little boy, and his mom, and she's like, hi, you know, and she, like, says her name, and she said, you know, like, it's my first time here, and also my birthday is this month, and she just got, like, right into chatting immediately, and so that was really good. And then she when we met the leader, she just went up to him after I shook his hand, because he, you know, extended to shake my hand, and then she also stuck her hand out, but she stuck her left hand out to shake his hand, and so he paused for me and goes, oh, you're shaking with your left hand. Well, that's kind of serendipitous. You must know what we're going to talk about tonight. And so I just looked at him, and he's like, just stay tuned and you'll see what I mean. And so then when we got to the backyard, the other little boy that was new was playing with, like, I guess it was an Iron Man shield. I don't know. And so my daughter was talking to him, and then eventually they used the Iron Man shield in the discussion. So the leader, the scouter leader had grabbed the shield, and he said, so, you know, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about, like, Indigenous customs and the stars, and, you know, so they also were just talking about, like, Indigenous greeting customs. So I think I'm gonna make, like, a flip with this. That would be fun. Oh, there's writing on here. We need to take care of that then. Okay, so yeah, so then when they're talking about, like, Indigenous greeting customs, they talked about, like, how some tribes, when they meet one another, and I forget where this is practiced, they shake with the left hand so that they don't have to put down their shield. So yeah, it was kind of funny and cute, and I was like, that's awesome. Like, that, you know, it was just a little thing for her to be able to talk to the other kids about, and that was nice. Alright, I'm just going to go around this again. I shouldn't have glued the entire thing, but that's okay. Hold on, just cut it off so it doesn't get everybody sticky. Alright, and then clip this off here. So that covers up that bit of writing that was on the back there. And then I could, if I was, like, super picky about these things, I could certainly do, like, more strips of this paper, or I could have used a very white paper, but truly it doesn't, you know, have any impact on me. I'm just having fun, and I think that kind of thing just adds the handmade characteristics to it. Okay, so we've done that. Get rid of this. Now the one thing, where is that piece of plastic? I think I might use that with, what? Maybe that. Might make a tag with that. Okay. Yes, let's do this. Okay, so I think I'll start with this. And we'll get it torn out. And then I've also just been busy I'm doing a bunch of, like, house reorganization and getting rid of old clothes. I am, like, doing a serious edit of my own closet, and I've got, like, an entire bag, a massive, like, leaf bag of like those big clear plastic ones that I don't use for leaves, but they're often called leaf bags. I have a full one to donate, so I'll be doing that, and I have to keep going, and then it's it's my husband's turn. He has to go through his clothes. I've probably got to do one more edit on the kid clothes that I try to keep up on all the time because kids grow out of clothes so quickly. So I like to try to keep their closets like sorted so that you don't end up like trying to get the kids dressed and then like everything you put on them is too small. You know, just like keep cycling things into their closet. That's the thing, is like every time you know, I come to the decision, okay, this is too small, my plan is to still wash it and then donate it, but then it ends up getting right back into their closet via the laundry if my husband puts the laundry away and he doesn't know that I've sort of earmarked these things. So yeah, it's an ongoing struggle. We're trying to get everything sorted out and ready for my in-laws to be visiting because they will be here this month, and that will be fun. All right, next stage of this is going to be stitching related. Now I have to see, can I get a piece of this on here? Okay, so what I want to do is create a pocket with this, but I'm going to stitch it on because I don't want to be dealing with any glue on this. So I'll take a little break to just stitch this on and be right back. Alright, so I've stitched this onto the card. Now snip these threads, and I'm going to just trim all around here. Get rid of all this scrap sort of stuff that I can't use for much of anything really. But it's a lot less plastic than it was because it was this great big piece that I've used almost all of it, so that's good news. Now, I was thinking that I just like these women as the focal point here for this background, but I'm not going to glue them onto it. I'm going to make like a journal tag or card. And I need a good thicker paper, like this cardstock stuff. So we're going to just glue here. And then I've also decided, I know like everything I'm talking about right now is related to my kids, but that's kind of like what I have going on at the moment, other than just, you know, doing copious amounts of work and art. So you're watching me do the art, so there's no sense that I talk about it. So I'll talk about life instead. So I ended up deciding, I'd considered this last year, but then I didn't. Actually becoming a volunteer for my daughter's Sparks guiding group, like to actually see what they need and see like how I could help it out. Like I wanted to do that. It was my initial inclination immediately to say like, okay, I'm putting her in this, I'm in it 200%, you know. But then I sort of stopped and thought about what was the reason I enrolled her in this. And it was about social life, you know, for a homeschool kid, and independence and having other voices and other mentors and that kind of thing. And I didn't want to overwhelm in that space and be this ever-present, you know, thing that was there, this person that she always knew exactly what to expect. So I wanted her to kind of have some time to learn about, you know, what it is to take instruction from other people and, you know, to get more comfortable without me being there. So I now feel like that isn't even something I need to really be concerned about. Like, she has absolutely no adjustment issues with this, and so I'm not really feeling like I'd be a bad impact anymore. I mean, not that I would have been a bad impact, but like I just wanted to offer some level of like additional independence for her. Yeah, but now I feel kind of like it's like I really love, like my daughter, she marched in the there was a Remembrance Day parade, and she marched in that with all her friends. And one thing that I really noticed is like I feel like it's obvious to the kids there that, like, you know, I'm someone that like they can talk to, that like they like me, because you know I think I know how to relate to kids at their level and kind of like, you know, present a non-judgmental and trustworthy kind of relationship. Like, you know, when they meet me, I think that like after they talk to me for a bit, like they feel comfortable. So I was thinking, you know, I've worked in schools and I absolutely love working with kids, and I think I have a whole lot to offer as like a guiding, you know, mentor, like someone who could help out in these things. So I sort of was like, you know, I was thinking about just on the weekend how many of the girls that I got to joke around and chat with, and like they seemed very nice, and like, you know, that was great. And I appreciate so much the mentoring that goes on with the Girl Guides, and I'm seeing it have such an awesome benefit for my daughter. So I was thinking about like, it feels right in so many ways to want to like contribute to that. So I've sort of just decided that, yeah, I will. Like, that will be fun, and I'll do it maybe on the same nights that she has her group. I meant to leave a flap on this, sorry. I'm going to double cover the back here. And then I have the option, because like all the groups meet in the same place, not just her group, on the same night, the same place. I have the option maybe to float to a different group if they, you know, accept having me there. So I wouldn't even necessarily always be in her group. I'd be willing to help with the others as well. Yeah, so I think that'll be nice, and I'm looking forward to it. I have an interview with them next week, you know, to basically like have my background check and all those kind of things, and talk to them about how I'd like to contribute. And like, I'm thinking about there's kind of different kinds of contributors they look for, like people who can, you know, do curriculum, people who can do like online stuff, people who can do outdoor stuff. And I think I'm kind of a blend of all those things, but I think what would interest me the most would be a combination of like nature study activities, indoor and outdoor. Like the first thing that got me thinking about this was like how cool it would be to teach them eco printing, and I would prepare cloth for them and handle all the, you know, the hot aspects of it. And so yeah, that's what I am thinking I'm gonna do. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope that it's something that I can do a bit, because like I have the time to do this kind of organization. Like yes, I do have a very busy life, but I do think it doesn't take, I don't know, like if you're already accustomed to doing these kind of things as I am, it won't take a lot of effort, but it will have, I think, a great impact on, you know, the program. So, and after seeing last night just like the commitment that like at the Scouts, like that some of these parents make, I think I'd feel better as one of those parents rather than just someone who's like passively in the background. I mean, sending my kid, but I think also like, you know, you do pay for these things, so it makes sense, and everybody can't be there. Okay, so what we made here as I was chatting is either a journal card or a pocket that you could glue down, either way. And then it's made from that background, and then we have this journal card inside. And then this is a little flap for extra writing space that just kind of makes it a little cuter. So it's like a triple, you know, a hidden writing space kind of double pocket. Okay, so that's that. Now, I really want to deal with these birds. I wish his beak was not shorn off. I don't know if I could shorten it, and it would look weird. So he's a no-go. And I think I'm kind of not feeling this cockatoo a whole lot. I'm like kind of over him because I've already got him in one place and he's a little wild. So I don't know what I want to do with him. Maybe. Every now and then I do this, like I'm like, I don't want to waste the piece of paper because that's so wasteful. But then I'm also kind of feeling like I don't really want to use it either. It's weird. You know what? It would make as a cute, it would be a cute tag, or a cute, like, let's do a tag, because I think no matter what, I always feel inspired by tags. So I'll get rid of this. that. Then I will glue this together. There we go. And then we'll back it with some paper. So let's just glue this up. Yeah, I was not even sure I was going to get to Tuesday 10 this week because it's been so busy, but like I do have time this morning, though I had to pull myself away from the project I'm working on right now, my design team project for Release the Craft, and I'm so just like, you know, you get into something and you don't want to stop. That's definitely a me thing. I just want to keep going. But I'm going to take a walk today. It's early right now. It's sort of before my work day, and my kids have just gone to their early years program. My daughter is getting the last of her days at the early years in. My son will continue there, but she will have aged out of the program. So I think that's going to be a bit of a transition for her because she's just really used to those people. She really likes them. But I mean, now that activity is kind of going to be beyond her. I think all that stuff they do there, it's now replaced with all these other things that she's doing. So that was part of why I was feeling like the crunch to kind of get her into some things, because I knew that, you know, this would be going away. So I want some kind of a fun word snippet. That would be kind of cute. And we're also starting to kind of slowly and carefully look for a new family dog. We have one dog, Toasty. If you have seen some of my videos, he comes around from time to time. He's sleeping right now. Oh, there's the song of a bird. That's kind of nice. Yeah, but it's going to take some time to find the dog that we want. I'm very kind of picky about that because I want to adopt, but I also have found, like, I have a very big history in doing animal rescue and have worked with a whole lot of animal rescue organizations. But what I've noticed over the last several years, like, I don't live in the same place that I used to, so I'm not familiar with the local rescue organizations. And a lot of the ones that I look at, you know, like, you start kind of online. You can use websites like Pet Finder to connect you with rescues. But, like, what I can say is be very cautious, because a lot of rescues call themselves a rescue, but they're kind of not. They're actually in the business for the exact same reasons that backyard breeders are, to make money. And unfortunately that comes with a lack of doing the right things for the animals, because they become, you know, a commodity. So I'm being very careful, like looking up all of these different organizations, and you know, then even then when you do finally find one that you might like, then you have to jump through a million hoops to try to actually get a dog from them, because the other aspect to it that can sometimes be good and sometimes bad is that there's going to be a lot of factors. So number one, it depends on what their adoption fee is. I'm very careful with that, because it's not that I don't want to spend the money. It's more about, like, why am I spending the money? I want to make sure that I'm not supporting them as like a business doing this, and also, like, there's a lot of other things, like, where did this dog come from? I don't want to support anybody who is taking dogs from places like reservations, which is an unfortunate thing that we've seen many times in Canada. You get these people who come out of nowhere and they take dogs from Indigenous reserves because they make a bunch of assumptions that, you know, they're not being taken care of or whatever, but they're solving it in the worst way ever, which is essentially theft. So that's another thing to be very careful with. And then also, like, There's a lot of people who had these ideas to start trying to import dogs from other countries, which has just been banned by the Canadian government now because, you know, as much as it sounds like a great idea and it's wonderful, it's actually super dangerous because in Canada, we no longer have instances of rabies. However, rabies is absolutely thriving in many other less prosperous countries, and I mean countries that are prosperous like China, but unfortunately they don't have the vaccination programs in place that we've had, and the last thing that we want to do is to reintroduce rabies here. So it's become an issue. There have been some limited cases of it, so they've had to act quite quickly on making sure that they put a kibosh on all of that. So yeah, it's a lot to think about. And in the past, like for me, I've usually rescued the dog directly myself, and that's how it's come to live with me, or it's found me. And, you know, this time around, it's a little bit different. But yeah, we want to have another dog in order to have twofold. One, emotional stability for our children as Toasty ages, because we went from being a 4-dog household to a 1-dog household in a matter of about 5 years, and that's been throughout my daughter's life because we had all senior dogs. So she's experienced loss of dogs at a few ages, but I mean, I also think she's quite well adjusted to even understanding that. So I'm not super concerned, but I just want to make sure that, we don't go, we have no dog, and it's very upsetting, and especially for my son who's extremely attached to our dog. It's that's his little mission, is to hang out with the dog, and so he, I think, will be impacted, if something should happen. So I just think some kind of a distraction, but also because we're a dog loving family, and I can't imagine life without a dog myself. I absolutely haven't lived without a dog really my whole life, except for maybe a few years when I had just moved away from home in my teen years, and I had cats instead. But then I still had dogs. They lived with my parents, and I still saw them all the time, but my parents didn't want to give them up when I moved, so they stayed with my parents, which was okay. There we go. It's a nice little use for that, I think. So yeah, the mission begins slowly to find a dog. And I'm also quite picky about breed because I need a dog that is smaller, because I don't want to deal with a great big dog because my kids are so small. I don't want to get anything that will knock them down. And also I need a breed that's a little more patient. Well, my kids are super respectful of dogs because we've done a lot of work with them to make them understand that dogs have boundaries. I also need a dog that, like Toasty, I can trust to some degree. I never fully trust any animal because they are animals, and you have to, I think, have that mindset to be safe. That, any animal can bite, any animal can get worn out from being, bothered. So I have to just be a little careful. We're interested in, retired greyhounds as maybe the largest breed that we would get, but anything else, I'm hoping I can find something under about 25 pounds. I'm very partial to beagles. I love them. I also love basset hounds, but unfortunately I don't think I want one because after having had a miniature dachshund, I just feel like their bodies aren't really designed for a comfortable and easy life. It's really hard to be that low to the ground and to have such short legs, getting weighed on by the body weight of the whole dog. And I don't want any kind of a flat-faced dog like a Frenchie or a pug or anything, because I don't want to support the breeding of those dogs because they just have so many issues with being able to breathe that I don't think it's a great idea. So yeah, you have to do what's right for you, for how you feel about everything and your family. So I've sent an inquiry already on 3 dogs. One I haven't heard from yet, and it's a beagle. One I have heard from, but then I ended up, I have some reservations because of adoption cost, as well as some things that I've read online about some experiences, but I have to look at that with a finer tooth comb before I make a decision on that one. And then the third one, we heard back and they said, you know, you're the perfect kind of candidate to adopt, but the dog that you were interested in was, you know, really popular, like surprisingly so. So we've stopped taking applications on him. So, you know, please, like, let us know if there's another dog that, you know, you're interested in. And so, yeah, it's a lot. It's also weird to be kind of like, I don't know, auditioning dogs or something when they all need a home. It's like a little bit of an emotional process for me to kind of do that. But like, it's not really too much about the look of the dog. It's more about like the personality, the characteristics of the dog. I'm going to have to meet him. I'm going to have him or her. I'm going to have to, you know, assess like how he does with our family. I don't really want to get a puppy right now. I don't want to get a high needs senior dog because like that's what I usually go for. I usually get dogs that have come from traumatic backgrounds, or, you know, seniors who, you know, have ended up needing a home and they have higher needs, but for a magnitude of reasons, the main one being that I have small kids right now and a lot of responsibility. As a result, I don't want to go that route because I just want, you know, something that will be, I'd say, a more normal dog introduction. So yeah, I'm just going to take my time and do my best to do the most ethical and, you know, good thing for our whole family. I'm just going to be checking out a lot of the shelters because I've heard like from some people that, you know, during the beginning of the pandemic that like a lot of people got pets to try to deal with, you know, the loneliness of isolation, but then the pets have started to come back to shelters and stuff because a lot of people weren't prepared afterward to still have a dog when they had to like go back to work or they had to move or what have you, which is pretty sad, but understandable too, because I think humans are fallible creatures. We don't always think things through. So I have to check a lot of the shelters again. What I have noticed so far, though, isn't that I've noticed that most shelters have about maybe 10 dogs, and they're all in foster care at the moment. So I'm just going to look through here and see if there's anything that I want to use. And if I want to use this piece here, I think if I can just trim like a little bit off the bottom, because I don't want like any half bird faces. Okay, get rid of that. And then I have one logical spot I can fold this right there, I think. And it's going to be a little shorter on this side than on that, but that's okay. Because that would be a cute, like I'll back it and make a cute little tuck. Is this long enough? No. Okay. Here we go. So yeah, if you are in the Greater Toronto area or like, you know, well, really much of Ontario, and you have a lead on a dog that needs a home that is like, you know, a smaller dog, a little young, you know, I would be definitely interested. So feel free to message me because we are looking to start meeting some dogs to try to find our forever doggo. Called my vet to let him know that we're starting the process just to see how things are going at his practice, and like to make sure that there's not massive, like, whoopsies, I put that on backwards, massive lineups to, you know, wait for appointments. And he said, no, it's okay, like everything's kind of calming down. I think people are catching up on a bunch of things in life, including like getting their dogs sorted out, because like, or cats, dogs, everything, because I think a lot of people, you know, they couldn't go to their vet because it was not open for standard things, or, you know, they didn't want to drop their pet off and leave them there or what have you. But he said he's gotten caught up now, so that's good news. Okay, and then this extra bit I can take off. I just tear it. I'll just kind of give it a smoosh. There we go. And fold this. Yeah, that's fun. Just an extra little fun piece. And around the corners. And ink it like I did the other one. My daughter has Sparks tonight, and they're doing like their annual welcome to the group kind of thing. So she had that last year. They did that for her. It was like a little special session for her, but they'd forgotten to give her like an enrollment certificate, so she'll get to do this this again tonight. So I'm sure she's gonna love it, because she loves this kind of thing. There we go. Okay. Now, what do we have left? I'm like actually moving through this at a decent pace somehow. Yay! I don't know if this would be kind of a cool background for this bird nest as like a flip. I'm thinking, like, I'm really feeling that kind of a piece of ephemera. If you're seeing these, don't panic. These are a digital of mine, of postcards, but I printed them incorrectly, so they're like blown out colors. They look all weird, so don't worry, I'm not like destroying anything like precious. Glue this down on here for a backing. That can go on that side. And then this week, also, my daughter's going to her, what they call the investiture, or it's next week actually, with the beavers. So it's like the same kind of thing. It's like, you know, I guess they call it an investiture because it's like an investment in becoming a beaver. And she gets her new little outfit, which should be quite funny. They have a really cute little outfit. It's like a little brown vest and a little bucket hat and a scarf. They always call them a necker. And then something called a woggle, which I had no clue what that was until last night, when I think I know what it is. It's like this cincher thing that like cinches around their neck scarf to keep it from falling off, I guess. And they can tighten it. It almost like looks like a bolo or something, like a children's version of a bolo. It's quite funny. And then last night it was nice. I got to sit and chat with the mom of the other new kid that was joining, and we had a really nice conversation. It was like all over the place, about all sorts of things. She works in a hospital, and you know, so we talked about all sorts of stuff, and she was very nice, and her son seemed very nice too, and my daughter actually connected with him right away. So that's good. They're starting together. They'll kind of have each other like as, you know, new members. Not that I felt like there'd be any issue. The other kids seemed really like accepting. I don't know though if there are any other girls in this troop, like this, or as they call them, a colony, beaver colony. So I think that could be interesting, but also, like, I'm not concerned or anything. I think it'd be fine. I need to back this? Yeah, I do, but I'm going to just back it once I put it on here. It's probably still a little too wide. Yeah. Yeah, so she might be the only girl, but I think if anyone can kind of handle that, it will be her. She's pretty industrious. Okay. That will fit, I think, better. And then what does it look like generally? Actually, I like it. I want to ink around here. Let's get rid of the white space on here. Just trying to think, like, what else is new and exciting in my life? Not a whole lot. It's mainly just kid stuff and getting ready for, like, November, which is both of my kids' birthday months. So, like, I'm, you know, hustling to do a bunch of stuff. And then, of course, December happens. And so, yeah, I don't really think things are going to get all that less busy. But it's okay. All right, so I'm just going to trim this edge where I folded it a little bit, and then I need to cover that up. So I'll do that with the edge of this book page. There we go. Sorry if that was hard to see. I just pushed it right up to the edge there so I can cover this little flap, because it was still showing like the front of the digital, and I don't want that visible when I go to glue it down. So now when I glue it on the back of here, I'm just going to have a plain, you know, flap. It's not going to be a problem. It's not going to get in the way of journaling. So now I will glue this side, the other side, to the back of that. So now we have glue on the flap, and then we'll line this up in the middle here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Make sure it's shoved all the way up. I think I just have a little bit of paper I need to trim right on this edge. That's perfect. Okay. I'm trying to see if going out into the world. I'm going to put that on there because it's kind of like this little bird will be leaving its nest. Go out into the world, to this beautiful fall forest. Then I think I will also round the corners of this journal card here. Alright, that's, whoopsies. Glue had not dried yet, but we saved it. Whew, uh-oh, maybe not. Let me see if I can I save it? Can I? Oops. This is why I usually glue word snippets, especially when they're made from old paper. I glue them with art glitter glue or like another wet glue. I don't glue them with glue stick because glue stick, just for that few seconds, it's a little too wet and it's easy to destroy what you're doing, but we're fine. We're all good. I did not completely destroy it. We're all good. Okay. So that is that. And then I might just add a little ink here on the edges to kind of, actually the whole thing, to just kind of settle it down. There we go. And then back here I'm going to put, because this is going to be a journal card, not a like a pocket or anything, I'm going to put this back here, a very fine nest. So it sort of, it takes the story on through to the back side of the card, right? That's kind of fun. Make sure we're all glued down. Okay, that's that, done. What do we have left? We have this. Let me see if there's anything here I want to keep. No, I don't. All right, now this would be a lovely background, I think. So let's see break this off, get rid of these. Then, okay, I need a focal point. I did actually just sort of refill my focal points from, like, I have all these bags of kind of organized cutouts. So I was thinking about like what kind of focal points I might want to use. I just started grabbing things from like different bags of focal points that I have. It's a chair, yeah. Thinking about maybe a bird. A bird would be fun. But I need something a little different, I think. And I want to do maybe some stitching. I might like a yellow bird. With that blue, I think that would be pretty cool. And then I don't want this, but maybe this. I have these like little snips from a digital kit from the Paper Cameo. Butterfly? No. What's this? What's a hat? It's like, is it a bee? What is that? Sometimes I snip things and I'm not even exactly sure what it was. That's cute. A clock. Maybe one of those would be kind of cool too. Just kind of do something with circles and this bird. Antlers. Oh, that's so tempting, but a bird with antlers, not so much. But we have a butterfly, maybe. Yeah, okay. Let's do that and grunge it up a bit. Okay, so I'm going to grab my art glitter glue. I'm just going to glue this down kind of from the top down a little bit. Oh, I have not unclogged this bottle. I knew it was clogged yesterday. I should have done that. Just put that there. I've got a little bit of rust on this because my pin is rusty. I don't really care, to be honest. Like, nothing, it never affects me, and I like using these big pins, but like they do get rusty. You have to like clean them off, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not really stressed about it. If I was using the glue in a way that it was going to be like visible, I would be more like careful, but I'm not, so it doesn't matter. I think I once heard Gail Agostinelli talking about how somebody had, like, you know, raged on her in the comments about about this very thing. So let's hope no one's feeling feisty and seeing me do this. I always am sort of dumbfounded that, like, you know, I've heard it from a few different journalers that, like, you know, they get these mean comments and things, and I just think, like, I don't know what I would do if someone did that, because I'm a different kind of personality type. Like, I'm not the kind of personality that's always obsessed with making everybody happy all the time. I sort of believe in, like, an equal, like, I don't know, like, I treat you how you treat me, kind of. I mean, to some degree. I'm not gonna, like, go crazy if you go crazy. I'm not gonna, like, stoop to the level of someone who would stoop to a level with me. But, like, I do sort of feel like I would have a low tolerance, and that block button would be real whip smart if it needed to be. I've never had that, really. I have only ever had people give me, you know, advice on things, like they think I could do something better, and some people's delivery is a little more elegant than others, but I honestly always look at those kind of things as, like, good intentions. Like, and I know that, like, I don't expect everyone to be, like, the same kind of communicator, because that's just an unrealistic way of being, and I think that, you know, we're a neurologically diverse population, and that, like, there's a lot of room for understanding, so that's what I have. And I'm also not like too upset if somebody like downvotes my video. I don't get really many people who do that. I think I have one person who does it from time to time on a few of my videos, and I have a suspicion that I know who it is and I know why. But like, I don't really get upset about it. I'm just sort of like, oh, that's fine. You know what? Downvotes actually, they actually make your videos, they count as a positive for your video being like published. You can get more views. It counts as another engagement. You know, so I'm not telling you to like go out there and start downvoting things. Please, not to me or anyone. I don't even do that. I've never downvoted anything actually ever in my whole using of YouTube. If there's something I don't like, I typically just, you know, scroll on by. I have had to report some things though that I felt were like, you know, concerning and like, you know, they could hurt people. That usually doesn't happen though on YouTube. It's more on other social media platforms where I'm like sort of horrified by something that I might see, and then I'm just like, okay, this looks illegal. So yeah, I don't try to engage with that kind of thing too much. But I definitely kind of think it's funny to think that like anyone would go out of their way to like be mean to somebody in the journal community. Because it seems so utterly pointless, like a really pointless way to spend time. You don't know. And I especially find it crazy somebody would be mean to Gail, because she's like so nice, you know, like I typically find like there's a lot of people that I don't necessarily share their beliefs on everything, but like that doesn't make me feel like they're not worthwhile people. I'm sure that many of you listen to me talk about certain things and like you're like, oh, I don't really agree, or I don't feel that way, but I would hope that you'd hang out still, you know, because I think I'm still someone who, you know, would like to forge relationships even though I'm different from people. I think like there's kind of, for me anyway, I find there's like certain things that I'm like pretty negotiable about, but then like there's certain things, usually political topics, where I feel like the decisions being made, other people are getting hurt by those decisions. So it's like, I will respect your existence as long as it doesn't call for the end of someone else's, or, you know, to hurt someone else or to take away the rights of someone else that should have them. On the most part, that's how I feel. But, you know, it's a complex topic. I guess what I'm trying to say is just like, you know, I think kindness goes a long way. All right, so let's think about, we've made quite a few pieces here as I gabbed. I barely talked about the work today, so if you have any questions, let me know. I don't know how you feel when I just kind of talk about other things and I don't really talk about the work. Like, you can clearly see what I'm doing, but please always feel like you can ask me questions like, hey, what was this thing that you did, or whatever. I will be happy to answer you in the comments always. So let's count first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we actually made 10 things. I need to back that. I'll do that off camera. I was thinking of adding word snippets to these, but I think I'm not. I'm just going to let them be. I kind of like them as is. Sometimes a story can be told by you rather than by me, and these are the kind of things I like to tuck into packages or into journals that are like commonplace journals, to just kind of inspire, you know. So yeah, so I'm going to stitch around this one after I back it. This I don't want to stitch around. I think it's good as is. It would be a really cute little flip out in a journal. This one is done. It's good. I think it's good as is. No stitching required. This I will. That I won't. It's just a sweet little thing. This one I will. I will. This one I don't think I will. Let me see. How would that work if I stitch around here? Okay, yeah, I will with that one. And this one. So just let me go do my stitching. I'll come back and we'll do a final review. Okay, we are all done. So we have this little bit, this fun 3-part pocket tag, this little flip, and then this little booklet here. this could be, you know, a tag or like a journal card, or it could be a pocket. This journal tag. This little flip down journal space with a journal card behind. This little bit that we could tuck into somewhere. This tag. And this journal card. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for another Tuesday 10. I will be back hopefully next Tuesday, and we will do this again with some other fun stuff and make all the ephemera. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye for now.